Hi guys, this is Anders DVD and VHS Reviews here, and today I'm going to show a book review of Toy Story 3. And here we go. Sheriff Woody was in the middle of another exciting adventure. He had made his way to the top of a thundering train. He went where he battled the villainous one-eyed bird. But Woody wasn't alone. Bullseye the horse and Jessie the yodeling cowboy and cowgirl were eloping nearby, ready to help. Still, all might have been lost without the swooping strength of Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger. But the fight wasn't over. One-eyed Bart and the evil Dr. Porkchop struck back, attacking with her force-field dog and a pack of aliens. By working together, the unstoppable Sheriff Woody and Buzz Lightyear saved the day at last. When Andy was young, his toys had enjoyed exciting adventures every day. Andy's imagination could take them anywhere, the future or the past, deserts, jungle, or distant planets. Andy loves his toys, and Woody, Buzz, Jessie, Rex, Ham, Slinky Dog, and the rest of the toy gang loved him right back. For the toys, being played with, being loved by a kid was the best feeling in the whole world. But as Andy grew into the teenager, he played with his toys less and less. By the time he was preparing to leave home and going to college, the toys were very worried. What had happened to them? Woody tried to reassure everyone. Andy would just tuck them all in the attic for safekeeping, he explained. But Andy's mom came into his room with another idea. She suggested that Andy donate his old toys to a daycare center. No one's going to watch those, he told her. They're junk. Inside the toy box, the toys felt hurt. Did Andy really think they were junk? They were even more upset. Where are they? Where Andy started scooping them up and dumping them into a bin bag. But when he picked up Woody and Buzz, he paused. They had always been his toys' two favorites. He looked back the and forth between them, then made a decision. Buzz went in the bin bag, and Woody went into a box marked college. But Buzz couldn't believe what this was happening. Woody couldn't believe it either. As Andy carried the bag away, Woody followed him into the hallway. Then Andy pulled down the leader to the attic. Whew! Everyone would be safe after all. But just as Andy started to climb the ladder, his little sister, Molly, called him. Andy left the bean bag in the hall when his mom walked by moments later, she grabbed the bag and carried it out of the house. She was throwing the toys away. Andy's mom tossed the bag onto the footpath by the rubbish bin. The toys began to panic. "There's gotta be a way out," shouted Buzz, looking around desperately. Finally, he had an idea, then could use Rex's pointy tail to tear through the bag. Everyone pushed Rex against the plastic as hard as they could, but they were running out of time. "I can hear the rubbish truck," they cried. Rex cried. Woody ran outside to rescue his friends from the bin bag and reached the curb just in time to see the rubbish truck pulling away. But then he noticed an upside-down recycling box making its way across Andy's driveway. He released his friends and had escaped under the recycling box and were not in the garage. Inside garage, the toys were upset. "Andy threw us out," explained Slinky Dog. "Like we were rubbish," added Ham. Luckily, Jessie had a plan. When Woody reached them, she and the other toys were all climbing in the donation box through Sunnyside daycare. Woody tried to explain that Andy didn't mean to throw them out, but the toys weren't convinced. Then suddenly, Andy's mom slammed the boots shut. As they drove to Sunnyside, Woody told his friends that daycare was a sad, lonely place. You'd be begging to go home, he warned, but were the pulled Bob up in from the off sunny side. It didn't seem sad and all. The building looked cheerful and children were laughing and playing outside. The toys could hardly contain through their excitement. Maybe they would be played with again. When they went inside, the toys got so excited that they accidentally knocked their box over. A crowd of daycare toys swarmed around them. "Welcome to Sunnyside," a big pink bear called warmly. "I'm Lotso, Hugman Bear, but please call me Lotso." After everything that he had been through that day, the toys were happy to see a friendly face. "Mr. Lotso," asked Rexy, "do toys get played every day, all day long, 5 days a week?" Lotso replied. To Andy's toys, Sunnyside sounded like a dream come true. "Now, let's get you all settled in, Lotso said. The friendly bear led everyone on a complete tour of the daycare center. But the time they reached the caterpillar room, their new home, Andy's toys were amazed. Sunnyside seems to have everything had needed. But one toy wasn't completely won over by Sunnyside. Woody reminds Buzz and the others that they were still, we can have a new life here. Woody, Jesse argued. A chance to make kids happy again. So this is it, Woody asked. After all, we've been through. No one answered, so walked away, alone, tender-minded, to get back to Andy. Woody slipped out of the caterpillar room and found his way onto the roof. But a high wall surrounded the daycare center, and for a moment there seemed to be no way out. Luckily, Woody spotted an old kite on the roof, holding it above his head, and leaped off the roof and soared over the wall. But instead of gliding gently down, Woody flew upwards on a gust of wind. Suddenly, the kite broke and Woody fell towards the ground, but his paw string caught in the branch of a tree, leaving him dangling in the midair, and his hat fell to the footpath below. At the moment, a little girl named Bonnie spotted him. She was leaving Sunnyside to go home. Bonnie reached up, put Woody into her backpack, and climbed into her mom's waiting car. Woody was glad to be rescued, but he still needed to get home to Andy. Inside the caterpillar room, Andy's toys waited excitedly as footsteps thundered towards them. Suddenly, a crowd of toddlers burst into the room. Entangled Slinky's coil, dipped Jesse's hair in paint, and covered him with pasta shaped in glue. One of the toddlers threw Buzz onto a windowsill. He could see into the butterfly room, where the group of four, a 5-year-olds, were playing gently with Lotso and the other daycare toys. Were wondered why Andy's toys had been put in the caterpillar room. They total play was to roof. Meanwhile, at Bonnie's house, Woody was accidentally having fun. The little girl had a great imagination and her toys were very kind. But Woody discovered he was close to Andy's house and he decided he had to go get home. If you guys ever get to Sunnyside, said Woody. Waving goodbye to Bonnie's toys, tell them Woody made it home. The toys were all about Sunnyside long ago. Chuckles, a toy clown, Lotso, and Big Baby belong to a girl named Daisy. One day, the toys had been felt behind on the trip. Lotso led them home, but Daisy already had a new pink bear. Heartbroken, Lotso ripped off the pendant with Daisy's name on it. The Big Baby always were. Eventually, the trio back came to Sunnyside, and Chuckles was rescued from there by Daisy. Chuckles had kept Lotso pendant, and now he handed to it to Woody. Back at Sunnyside, the toys were tried and sore. These totals, explained Mr. Potato Head. They don't know how to play with us. Buzz accidentally to talk to Lotso about being moved to the big kids' room, but the doors and windows were locked. Luckily, Buzz found one open window at the top of the door and the scrabbled out of find the pink bear. Buzz found Lotso's crew in the teacher's lounge inside the top of a snack machine. What do you guys think of the new recruits? Buzz heard someone ask. Any keepers? All of them toys are disposable, replied the toy named Twitch. Well, be lucky if they last us a week. Buzz was shocked. Lotso had put Andy's toys in the caterpillar room on purpose. Buzz whirled around X's to warn his friends and ran right into the gigantic doll named Big Baby. Lotso came to speak to Buzz. The pink bear was friendly at first, but when Buzz explained that he and his friends belonged in the butterfly room, Lotso stopped. Began nice. Those caterpillar kids need someone to help play with. He growled. He wanted Andy's toys to stay with the little kids, so he would have to. Lotso strapped Buzz to a chair and prepared to switch the Space Ranger back to his original factory setting. No! Buzz yelled. When Lotso arrived in the caterpillar room, Andy's toys begged to leave. Here's the thing, the bear said. Greeting. You ain't leaving Sunnyside. He wanted Andy's toys to stay with the littlest kids because they played too roughly. Then suddenly appeared and excuse his old friends of being minions of Zurg. Jesse and the others were shocked when what I had happened to Buzz. Lotso's gang herded Andy's toys into the room. Right wire crates. Lotso chuckled and left, leaving Buzz to guard the captives. Woody and desperate to get home to Andy before he left for college, but he also knew he couldn't leave Buzz. Jesse and the others in Lotso's clutches. The next morning, Woody stowed away in Bonnie's backpack and snuck off into Sunnyside. Woody's friends were overjoyed to see him. "Oh, Woody!" cried Jessie. "We were wrong. Leave Andy. From now on, we stick together," Woody replied. Everyone knew had Woody needed to get home quickly so he could go to college with Andy. Luckily, Woody had a plan. That night, the toys put Woody's escape plan into action. Some of them distracted Buzz while Woody and Slinky grabbed the daycare center's master keys. Mr. Potato Head threw his removable parts into the playground, where they attached themselves to the tortilla in his house. In his new identity as Mr. Tortilla Head, he watched out for Lotso and his gang. Jessie unlocked the door and led Andy's toys out into the playground, while Rexy and Ham tried to reset Buzz. Suddenly, Buzz beeped and began speaking Spanish. Woody tried to hustle Buzz along, but when the Space Ranger saw Jessie, he dropped to his knees. "Mi florequeta del desierto," he declared. Morantically, "Did you fix Buzz?" asked Jessie. Confused, sort of Woody replied. Soon Mr. Tortilla Head joined them as well. In no time, he was reunity with his old potato body and a very relieved Mrs. Potato Head. Together, the friends crept past Big Baby and across the playground, avoided a spotlight that swept over the ground. Quickly, the ground head towards the rubbish chute. Woody slid down the chute, then called for his friends to follow. Soon they were all out, perched about a big open rubbish bin. Slinky stretched himself across the bin so that the toys could climb across to safety. But suddenly, Lotso stepped into view. "Are you lost, the little daggy?" he asked. With a nasty grin, Lotso kicked Slinky's paws, almost knocking the dog into the rubbish below. "What about Daisy?" Woody asked. "Suddenly, she lost you by accident. She loves you." He had up the old pendant the Chuckles had begun given to him. "She never loved me," Lotso exploited angrily. "She left me." Big Baby's eyes lived with tears and he thought about Daisy. He picked up Lotso and threw him into a bin. The daycare toys cheered. Things would be different and at Sunnyside from now on. Come on, hurry, cried Woody. Running, he could hear a rubbish truck rumbling towards them. My heart belongs to Daisy. The toys followed and climbed to safety on the wall. Then Woody saw an alien caught in between the bin lids. The Woody ran back, but Lotso reached up and yanked Woody inside. The rest of Andy's toys jumped onto the lid and tried to lift it, but the rubbish truck lifted the container and tilted it upside down. Soon, all the toys fell into the back of the rubbish truck. The truck rumbled forward. It lurched to a stop. More rubbish rained down on them, and the TV landed on top of Buzz. Incredibly, the bomb turned off Buzz's Spanish mode, and he became his old self again. At the land lift, the truck bumped its load of rubbish. Dirty and frightened, the toys struggled free. In the distance, they could see the silhouette of the huge crane. The claw, shouted the aliens, excitedly toddling off towards it. Woody tried to stop them, but a bulldozer cut him off. The toys were pushed along, caught in a churning tide of smelling rubbish. The toys tumbled down onto a conveyor belt. Suddenly, a big magnet began pulling metal from the rubbish. Slinky was pulling up first, and he could see that his friends were heading towards and Shredder. The other toys started to grab whatever metal they could find and were pulled up by the powerful magnet. Suddenly, a pig paw reached out from under a golf bag. Help me, begged Lotso. Woody and Buzz dropped back down and prized the bag off with a golf club. They pointed the metal club upwards, and all three toys were lifted into the air just in the nick of time. Then they were tipped onto a new conveyor belt. Everyone cheered to see that Lotso was safe. Thank you, Sheriff, Lotso said humbly. We're all his together, Woody replied Woody. Unfortunately, the new conveyor was truly safe. It led to a flaming incinerator. Lotso spotted an emergency stop button, and the others boosted him up to reach it. Lotso was about to push the button, but as he looked at the other toys, a cruel grin spread across their face. Instead, of saving them, he ran away. Terrified, the toys tumbled towards the fiery blaze. It looked as if there was no escape. They held each other's hands together till the end. Suddenly, a giant crane appeared from above them. Its jaws opened, scooping them up and away from the inferno. As they soared through in the air, the toys could see the aliens and the controls for the crane. The claw! The aliens cried joyfully. The aliens set the toys gently on the ground. Come on, Woody, said Jessie. We've got to get you home. Fortunately, the neighborhood rubbish collector was just climbing into his truck. The toys jumped on board, eager to hitch a ride. Lotso was going somewhere too. A different rubbish collector he had found him happily tied the pink bear to get the front grille of his rubbish truck. I had me one of these when I was a kid, the driver explained. Woody and the gang arrived home as Andy was loading up the car. They made it just in time. Woody headed for a box marked college, while the other climbed into the attic box. Before they separated, Woody and Buzz shook hands. You know where to find us, Cowboy, Buzz said finally. Inside the college box, we looked at the photo of Andy with all his toys, and he suddenly an idea. He jumped out of the box, wrote something on a sticky note, and stuck on the attic box. When Andy returned, he was thrilled to see his toys. He thought they were gone forever. Then he looked at the sticky note. Hey, Mom, he called. So you really think I should donate these? It's up to you, honey, she replied. Andy loaded the box into his car and drove to the address written on a sticky note. It was a small house with a little girl playing in the front garden. It was Bonnie's house. Andy pulled his toys from the Bonnie box and introduced each one of to Bonnie, and at the bottom of the box there was Woody. Andy was surprised with his name. Woody was supposed to go to college with him, but Bonnie recognized Woody immediately. My cowboy, she explained. When Andy saw how much Bonnie loved Woody, he decided to leave his favorite toy with her too. Then Andy played with Bonnie and all his old toys. After so many years, Woody, Buzz, and the others were finally getting what the worry wanted. One last playtime with Andy. Back in the car, Andy took at last to look at Bonnie, surrounded by the toys. Bye, guys, he said quietly. Bonnie ran inside for lunch, and the toys watched Andy drive away. So long, partner, said Woody, with a wave. Buzz put his arm around Woody. Yes, their life with Andy was ending, but their adventures with Bonnie had just begun. The end. Okay, guys, that's it. So, if you like my content, please click like and subscribe. Next is Cars 2. We'll see you next time. Bye.